Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So about 6 months ago, Chris and I moved to a new apartment. And after living there for a while, I started noticing things that I wanted to improve. I started coming up with ideas for how I was going to create more space in the kitchen cupboards and make certain areas in the house more efficient. I've been wanting to do these projects for quite a few months now, so I figured that it was about time that I started doing them. So here are the areas that I want to address. The area next to the staircase that goes down to the garage is the area where we enter and exit the house most of the time. But there is no nice space there to store our keys, bags, or wallets. The kitchen cupboards. I noticed that the area where we store our mugs is pretty cramped. The spice and cooking oil shelf is very cluttered, and many times we end up buying spices that we already have because it's difficult to see what's in our cupboard without having to take everything out. So the first project that I started off with was a solution to store our keys next to the staircase entrance. I wanted to make a hook that mounted onto this side railing. So I took photos and measurements of this railing and then imported the profile photo into Fusion 360. And then based on the photo and the measurements, I modeled a very basic key hook. The first iteration that I printed out was way too wide to slide my keyring over. So instead I figured that I'd use it as a hook for hanging our backpacks or bags, and it held up pretty well. I then made a hook that was thinner and printed it out. And this was perfect for both Chris and my key sets. Then came time to make something to store our wallets. I wanted the wallet holder to also be able to mount onto the railing. And since the two hooks looked so identical, I wanted the wallet holder to kind of look like it was part of the same product family. So I made the hook for the wallet holder with the same geometry as the other hooks, but then made it wider with a container attached to the front. reduce the clutter that's in the mug shelf, I wanted to utilize the empty space above all the mugs by adding an extra shelf in the middle. So I measured the cupboard space as well as the tallest mug we have in order to figure out how tall and wide I wanted this extra shelf to be. Once I had all the measurements, I then 3D modeled the shelf. I added a rim around the whole shelf to prevent the mugs from sliding off, and holes at the bottom of the feet to add non-stick pads too. As per usual, this model was way too big to fit on my printer's build platform, so I cut it in half and printed each half separately.
One eternity later.
I then stuck the two pieces together with a lot of super glue. I then cut and placed a sheet of cupboard liner on top of the shelf to prevent the mugs from being able to slide around. For the cluttered spice rack, I wanted to make something that would again utilize the available height of the cupboard space. So I measured some of my spice bottles and 3D modeled a honeycomb style spice rack. I printed it in 4 separate modular sections. 2 large sections with 6 honeycomb openings, and 2 smaller with 2 honeycomb openings. After printing the 2 larger sections, I noticed that some of the emptier plastic spice bottles were top heavy and had a tendency of falling out of the rack. So I made the smaller 2-row sections a centimeter longer so that they would be able to hold the top heavy spice bottles better. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out. I will be sharing all the CAD files of these projects on my printables account, so please find the links to these CAD files in the description. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!